Hey, this is Travis. In this video series, I'm going to be talking to you about the decentralized web stack. We now have the technologies that allow for decentralized computation and decentralized storage, and web developers are now able to fully decentralize their web applications or websites. Let's get into it. In the last video series that I put together, I talked about what an NFT is. It's a smart contract, and within that smart contract, you can mint an NFT, a non-fungible token. And when you get into the details of what that NFT is, it usually is just a small URL pointer that points to a media file or a metadata file that represents that NFT. You see, we can't store large media files on these layer 1 blockchains like Ethereum. I think I just looked, and to store 1 gigabyte worth of information on Ethereum would cost millions of dollars. It's because all of the nodes of the Ethereum blockchain would have to replicate all that data, and so it has to be expensive. There has to be a high cost to storing data on the Ethereum blockchain. And so to get around this, what NFTs do is they just have a small URL or pointer that points to metadata and the NFT's rich media. The problem occurs when an NFT project does not decentralize the storage of the NFT. So in this case, I'm showing you something called Gauntlet. It's an NFT collection. I wasn't aware of this before. I had never really seen this, but it looks like gloves or something. And these are pictures that represent NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. But if we go into detail on what these NFTs actually are on Etherscan, I can go to, this is the smart contract that minted those NFTs that you just saw. And if I go to, let's see, read here, and I'm going to go to token URI, and I'm just going to put in like token number 1, like what's the first NFT, and you see that this is a normal URL that we're used to seeing. So this means that this JSON file, this is a metadata JSON file that's describing what the NFT actually is hosted on bossdrops.io. This is centralized storage, and it's not good. So I'll just go here. I'll follow this. And it just downloaded the JSON for me, and this is the JSON. And if I followed this URL, this is where the actual image of the NFT is hosted. So I can do that. And these URLs are called location-based addressing. So this is actually telling me the location of this image file on the bossdrops.io server. It's in a directory called images, and then this is the actual image file right here. There are a couple problems with this. First of all, how could you have a decentralized NFT asset if the people who run bossdrops.io or who own that domain can delete the files from that domain at any time? So you would still have the NFT in your wallet, but you would, if they deleted the file or they replaced it with another file, that NFT would be useless. It would just be it would come up with no image at all if the file was deleted. So this is a centralization risk. And also, let's say like this server is down. The server that's hosting bossdrops.io website, it's down, and so there's not good availability. And if like an NFT marketplace like OpenSea tries to render this NFT, it's going to go and it's going to search for where to pull the image from. And if that server is down, then it's also going to come up with a blank image. So this is a big deal to consider, because if you think about somebody spending thousands of dollars on NFTs, and it's this decentralized ownership of this art, but there's low availability, or some person can just change the image, then it really calls into question the quality and value of this NFT. So to solve that, I'm going to talk about decentralized storage. There's a decentralized network of nodes that's called IPFS, Interplanetary File System. And these, you can upload a file to a node, and then it shares that file with other nodes on the network. So it distributes the file. You can already see how this is an improvement over the central server right here. If that's down, then there's no data availability. But see, I'm connected on the IPFS network to 561 other computers on the IPFS network, and my file could get distributed to all of them, and then now they're acting as a content delivery network for my data. So if my node goes down, these other nodes are going to be able to serve the file to other people. So let me show you something else. This is a photo of me getting smashed in jiu-jitsu by my instructor. So I'm going to upload this. And another thing about IPFS is something called content addressing versus location addressing. So I just told you how a URL is, it's really just actually the file path on a centralized server. But when I upload to IPFS, I get something called a CID for every file. This is a content ID, and it looks like this. It's an alphanumeric string. It looks completely random, but I can tell you that this is a completely unique fingerprint or ID for the photo that I uploaded. If I edited that photo and I just changed one color, one pixel's color, then this hash or this CID is going to completely change. So this is good for data integrity. It means that if I post this hash on the Ethereum blockchain, I put this hash into the token URI that I showed earlier, and we know that that NFT can't get changed ever, then we know that that hash always has to deliver the file that I just uploaded because it's a one-to-one combination. So this is important for data integrity with NFTs. And I can view this file. I go IPFS : // and then I put that hash in, and it should pull my file up. And storing NFTs in decentralized storage is a best practice. This is Beeple every day's the first 5,000 days. It was the most expensive NFT ever sold for $69 million. And you can be damn well sure that they're going to use best practices on this one. So I'm going to go to the smart contract, and I'm going to go down to token URI and put in the token ID. This is for Beeple right here. And you see, look, that it's actually an IPFS hash. And I can go here, and it's going to pull up a metadata file. And so do you see how the $69 million NFT, its metadata is hosted on IPFS, whereas the Gauntlet NFT that I showed you earlier is hosted on a centralized server. Now that's all for this video. Now we're going to talk about some incentivization protocols for IPFS. You can join IPFS for free. You can upload data to IPFS for free, but there's no guarantee that the nodes in the network are going to continue to store your data. And so in order to solve this problem, some protocols have come along and have created a crypto network around IPFS that rewards IPFS nodes with cryptocurrency for holding data files for a certain amount of time. Thank you.